Everyone, you must have heard of the term Thanksgiving. Yes, it's something very rare how we have Thanksgiving and Chanuka falling out on the same day. This happens once in every 80 years or so. Well, what does the Torah have to say about this? Quite interestingly, Thanksgiving is a celebration of harvest. What is harvest? You have a farmer that sows and plants his field with many vegetations. Then comes the time of harvest, which is he goes into his field, he gathers in all of his produce which he worked so hard for, and he enjoys the crop which God has provided him. The Talmud tells us, "Maimin b'chai ha'olam v'zeireya." When a Jew plants his field, he doesn't do so because this is the law of Mother Nature. He does so because this is the way God set up the planting system. When you put a seed in the ground, it grows. So yes, this is a miracle. Even the laws of nature are a miracle. This is something very much connected to Chanuka. On Chanuka we celebrate 3 miracles which occurred. The first miracle is in a small town in Israel called Modi'in. The Greek army came and erected an altar and put a pig on top of the altar, and they were going to force all the Jews in that town to sacrifice to bring sacrifices to the pagan god. There was a group of Jews, the Hashmonaim. They revolted against the Greeks and actually killed them out. Then came a greater miracle where thousands upon thousands of Greek soldiers were up against just a few hundred Jewish soldiers called the Maccabees. And miraculously, the Jewish army won over the Greek army. Then came the final miracle where they came into the temple, which the Greeks have destroyed, and the Greeks had defiled all the oil in the temple by breaking their seals. Each jug of oil had a special seal with the high priest's signature. The Kohanim, the priests, came into the temple and they were unable to find not even one jug of oil, when miraculously they found one single jug which still had the seal of the high priest, which was in the ground of the temple. They then took this oil and put it into the menorah. The oil in that jug was only enough to last for 1 day, and a great miracle happened, and this jug of oil lit for 8 days straight. Now, at first glance, you might think that the greatest miracle of all is the miracle where the small Jewish army of just a few hundred overpowered and won the Greek army, which were thousands upon thousands and much stronger and mightier than the Jewish army. But the Torah tells us no, that the most greatest miracle is the most simplest miracle, the miracle which worked through the laws of nature, which was the miracle of the Jews overpowering the Greeks in this small town of Modi'in. The amount of Greeks which came to that town were just a few, and the Jewish soldiers which overpowered them were also only a few. So seemingly that's not such a great miracle. Tells us the Torah, no, that the greatest miracle of all is a miracle that's enclosed in the laws of nature. You see, it's very easy for God to make a miracle by shattering the laws of nature. Anything but anything. The greatest miracle of all is when God works through the laws of nature. As the Talmud tells us, Ein bal hanes makir b'nisei, that the person with which the miracle is taking place with doesn't even realize that a miracle is taking place. And this, my friends, is the connection between Thanksgiving and Chanuka. On Thanksgiving we celebrate the harvest. We celebrate how God is the ultimate source of all the crops which have grown in the field. And this is a much greater miracle than God performing a miracle where He has to shatter the nature. So too, on Chanuka we celebrate how God performed miracles for us even within the laws of nature. The lesson for us is that we must realize how God is standing on our side, and even the most simplest things which occur in our life, these are miracles that are happening to us. And we must praise God for these miracles, and in the merit of this, God will shower us with blessings of health, wealth, and prosperity, and we will all very soon merit the coming of Mashiach now. Have a happy Chanuka and a happy Thanksgiving.